Hey, welcome to another episode of the Rob Report. I'm your host, Robert Bob TV Brown. Before we get into the segment, by the end of this video, I want you to do a few things for me. First of all, if you like the video, hit the like button. Please do. If you don't like it, hit unlike. It's okay. Make sure you are subscribed to this channel. Sometimes, as Jimmy Dawes would say, you find yourself unsubscribed and you need to make sure that you subscribe to this channel. Hit the notification bell right next to it so you can be notified when a new video is being dropped. Whoop, there it is. And more importantly, the super chat will be on for this segment. So if you want to donate toward the efforts of Bob TV, that's freely up to you. I do have a job, but any amount will help toward the growth of this channel. And more important, let us help you help us by introducing you to a program. There's a link down below that says Equal Justice for All. You're going to click that video link and there's some educational tutorial about a phenomenal program in America that is really making equal justice a reality for every citizen. So this program is phenomenal. The proceeds from you participating in the program will go back, 10% will go back into the Bob TV YouTube channel. So anyway, my name is Robert Brown with the Rob Report. Let's get into it. Hey, good day. Welcome to another episode of Rob Report. I'm your host, Robert Bob TV Brown. How you doing today? Well, I'm doing a series called Elizabeth Warren, Not Elizabeth Warren, and Why. A lot of you going out here saying, why not Elizabeth Warren? Well, I'm entitled this, Not Elizabeth Warren, and this is why. And this is going to be a series like I did with my Dumb DNC Mistake series. You go back and watch my Dumb DNC Mistake series, and you see that these same mistakes is going to cost Trump to win again in this election. So this is my particular series on Elizabeth Warren. Elizabeth Warren, not Elizabeth Warren, and why. Watch this.
3 weeks until the crucial midterm elections, but there is a major headline that could involve a candidate for 2020. Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren has already said she will give serious thought to a run in 2020. President Trump, who calls her Pocahontas, has suggested he would pay $1 million to a charity if she took a DNA test to prove her heritage. Tonight, she says it's time to pay up. Here's Mary Bruce.
His opponents say it's a racial slur, but President Trump relishes his nickname for Senator Elizabeth Warren.
Pocahontas, Pocahontas.
Pocahontas.
I mean, Pocahontas, Elizabeth Warren, seriously.
Trump seizing on Warren's claim that she is part Native American, even once leveling this challenge.
I will give you $1 million to your favorite charity, paid for by Trump, if you take the test and it shows you're an Indian.
Trump claims that Warren used her heritage to help her get ahead, but there is no evidence it advanced her career. Still today, the Massachusetts senator who's eyeing a 2020 White House run took up the president's challenge, releasing this video showing her receiving the results of a DNA test.
What do the facts say?
The facts suggest that you
absolutely have a Native American ancestor in your pedigree.
Warren was told she had a Native American ancestor in the range of 6 to 10 generations ago. But tonight, the president is scoffing at the results.
How much? 1,000?
Do you owe her an apology?
No, I don't.
What about the money that
I owe her. She owes the country an apology. What's the percentage? 1,000?
As for that $1 million offer,
I'll only do it if I can test her personally. Okay, that will not be something I enjoy doing either.
Mary Bruce with us live tonight from Washington. And Mary, Elizabeth Warren, as I mentioned, said she'll decide after the midterms whether she's going to run for president. But today's move and the fact that she's diving in here, clear sign she's seriously considering this.
Well, David, her team says this is simply an effort to clear the air, to be transparent, but the timing of all of this leaves no one with much doubt. Though many Democrats say they wish she had waited until after the midterms to make such a public splash.
Why did you list yourself as an American Indian on this Texas bar application?
So this was about 30 years ago, and I am not a tribal citizen. Tribes and only tribes determine citizenship. When I was growing up in Oklahoma, I learned about my family the same way most people do.
Get you to the setup, okay? The bottom line, Elizabeth Warren started her, before her election, wanted to come out and hit on Trump and smack him in the head, proving that she's not a Pocahontas, that she's a real Native American Indian, and she got DNA proof, and she touted her DNA proof, and it fell south. Come to find out she was using that DNA proof. She got checked out by tribal chiefs, the whole 9 yard, and she kind of backed off it. Come to find out she was using this as a tool of privilege to try to get things. It recently came out that she used her Native American status, so-called Native American status, to try to get on the bar exam. Why would she do that? Maybe if you're a Native American in Texas or Oklahoma, you don't have to pay a certain fee. Maybe you get you get it waived. I don't know. In certain parts of Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and things like that, you're Native American, and you can get, you don't have to pay for your college. So certain things, because of what America did to Native Americans, they get an opportunity to get some form of reparations as a result of it. And if you can prove that you're Native American, you get access to certain things. Yet you want to run for us when it comes to reparations, and all you can tell us is you support HR 40. I don't give a crap about no HR 40. That's not supporting reparations. That's a study. Yet at the same time, she don't understand. And let me let her continue to talk, and we'll stop it every now and then.
My brothers and I learned from our mom and our dad and our brothers and our sisters, and those were our family stories. But that said, there really is an important distinction of tribal citizenship. I am not a member of a tribe, and I have apologized for not being more sensitive to that distinction. It's an important distinction.
The president has made the case that you've used this part of your background to get ahead. Are you saying that this is something you fundamentally believed about yourself, or how do you respond to that criticism, that this was a knowing attempt to get ahead by using that claim of ancestry?
So that is a claim that has been fully investigated, and it has now been shown completely that nothing about my background ever had anything to do with any job I got in any place. It's been fully documented, and there's no evidence of any kind other than it had nothing to do.
Well, it was fully documented. It's also proven that in Harvard University, and a couple, they listed her down as a minority. Again, it did work. Some kind of way, some kind of how. First of all, you're putting it down to get on a bar exam, and then now you got you as a minority in Harvard. It may make you look good. You're not the normal white person taking over a position, but you are showing that you're the first Native American Indian to run for presidential election. Sounds good. Not just the first female, but the first female Native American to run for office. It sounds good. So you can't tell me it don't benefit to your career when it is, and it's currently doing it in this piece right now. Had you not been called out and shown as the fraud in this situation, you would still be riding that horse like you the mascot from the Florida State Seminoles.
Documents or any more forms like this out there that you have listed yourself as that could come out?
Look, this is who I grew up.
This is look. Let's be clear. God, I can't stand that about Kamala Harris.
Believing with my brothers, this is our family story, and it's all consistent from that point in time. But as I said, it's important to note I'm not a tribal citizen, and I should have been more mindful of the distinction with tribal citizenship and tribal sovereignty.
Now let's stop here for a second, because I want to explain something to you. In Oklahoma, Arkansas, in the Midwest, they're horrible toward Native Americans. Slaughtered a lot of Native Americans, took land from them, things like that. I guess guilty conscience came in and they tried to make restitution to Native Americans, so there's a time period where I think it was the Homestead Act allowed Native Americans to get their property back. We took it from you, we conned you and schemed you, and now we're going to try to sell it back to you, but we're going to give it to you cheap. We still need to make $1. It ain't free. We got to make money off of you. And a lot of people, if they can prove that they were Native American, they can get that property a little cheaper. And I'm not the expert on this. I'm going to link you up to a video with Dame Calloway, and I'll let you hear from Dame Calloway how he explains this in this video. And a lot of white people took advantage of that so they can get some of that land, pretending to be Native Americans. Someone went as far as wooing a real Native American woman, a lot of them was dark-skinned, to try to get some of that land. Sometimes it was love, sometimes it was a pimping opportunity. Or they will pay them. You be my wife, I'll take care of you, for a season. After that, we divorcing, this is my property. Get off my property. They would do that. But I'm going to stop here for a second because I want you to know the history. Now, this is my boy Dane Calloway. This is his YouTube page. I want you to go there and really, really look at some of his videos. He has some good documentations on American history. I want to go to the one that he did on Native Americans, okay?
Is this you discussing Indian blood? We're going to judge people by whether they have Indian blood, whether they're qualified to run a gaming casino or not?
That probably is me, absolutely, because I'll tell you what, if you look at some of the reservations that you've approved, you, sir, you're great.
Now, this is Donald Trump before a hearing on Native American land. Now, he's trying to put his casinos up, and he's trying to get some of that land, but let me keep playing it.
Wisdom have approved. I will tell you right now, they don't look like Indians to me. They don't look like the Indians. Now, maybe we say politically correct or not politically correct. They don't look like Indians to me, and they don't look like Indians to Indians. And a lot of people are laughing at it, and you're telling how tough it is, how rough it is to get approved. When you go up to Connecticut and you look, now, they don't look like Indians to me, sir.
Any of you have the faintest idea how this country got started or have any interest in learning about it? If you have, you just haven't shown it. I don't know why you even bothered. Opie, what is it?
I know.
You know what?
How this country got started.
Indeed. Well, suppose you tell.
Founding of Jamestown, 1607. The first colony was founded in Jamestown, Virginia by Captain John Smith. He was a friend of Pocahontas. Her father was an Indian chief. She was an Indian, too. But she was a friend of his, and she wouldn't let him. Kill him, I mean.
He wasn't the first. Columbus was in 1492. It wasn't in Jamestown. It was in San Salvador.
That ain't the United States, you dope. That's in the West Indies. What about the Pilgrims? They weren't the first Americans. The Indians were. Ain't that right, Miss Girl?
Boys, now you've raised some very interesting questions. Suppose we just start back at the beginning and take them one at a time.
The actual Indians, or rather known as the American Aborigines, have since blamed the government for the mismanagement of a trust in their names for well over 120 years, and now the U.S. government owes them tens of billions of dollars. The dispute dates back to 1887, when Congress made the Interior Department the trustee for approximately 145 million acres of Indian lands in America. Black Indians, or rather Aborigines of America, were supposed to benefit, but the government gave the majority of the land, legal tenders, tax reliefs, and other federal specialized benefits to white settlers, who paid off the citizenship administrative organizations in order to become members of what is known as the 5 civilized tribes in Indian Territory by Congress. White settlers sought to reap the benefits of the Aborigines. In fact, one example of that will be the complexity of how successful, but so openly fraudulent, they did it. In 1895, the white settlers were informed of what benefits the Indians were entitled to, so they traveled to the Dawes Commission to inquire about having their names enlisted on the roll cards for full-blooded and or freedmen Indians of American lands. In 1898, the Dawes acted as a census responsible for documenting records of one's ethnic background in order to determine one's association with specific American Indian tribes. Also, it played an important role with determining which Indian tribes would get land allotments and other benefits that I detailed earlier, in return for abolishing their tribal governments and recognizing federal laws. In order to receive the land, individual tribe members first had to apply and then be deemed eligible by the commission. The commission to the 5 civilized tribes was appointed by President Grover Cleveland in 1893 to negotiate land with the Cherokee, Creek, Choctaw, Chickasaw, and Seminole tribes. It is commonly called the Dawes Commission after its chairman, Henry L. Dawes. In a 1963 episode of The Andy Griffith Show, the main character's son, named Opie, was profoundly decisive with informing his great aunt of some very intricate, persuasive details that he overheard from a white settler standing by.
Told you to go straight home from school.
Come and see, A.B. He's telling all about the Indians.
Who?
Him.
My friend, that is an excellent question.
He got kidnapped by the Indians. He got adopted by their chief. He lived with them, A.B. Real Indians. He lived with them and learned all their secrets. Come on.
Aunt B knew that the white settler's story was inaccurate and very deceiving, but what is true is that white settlers utilized the same exact reasoning in order to acquire the approval of Indian enrollment eligibility for their personal gain. During the early part of the year 1902, the U.S. government reacted with malicious intent in developing a separate freedmen's list specifically designed to root out all copper-colored Indians from receiving these newly established benefits by way of the federal government.
The indigenous people of this land, the Chinese came in, mixed in with them, and produced what you're calling Native Americans today or Indians. And the Caucasian gave them all our rights. Now they walk around saying Cherokee, Choctaw, Shinnecock, Cheyenne, and we walk around saying African.
What is also important to note, the U.S. government listed all full-blooded indigenous aborigines of America, mainly all of the Indians who they thought had African-like features, as black or colored, as their classification of race documented inside of the 1900 census. Simultaneously, white U.S. citizens were allowed to become identified as Indians by paying the Dawes Commission a whopping total of just $5 for each white adult and child to be listed on the Dawes roll. On April 1st, 1902, public notices were passed around detailing that other claimants can legally make their cases for freedmen enrollment, single-handedly allowing all white citizens the rights to legally steal the Indian lands of America, reparations, and optimized benefits set forth by federal law. Ironically, this was officially announced on the day most people would tell their very best April Fool's jokes.
Now, due to copyright issues, I'm going to end it there. And I want you to get familiar with my man Dane Calloway's channel. Now, I don't agree with 100% thing with Dane Calloway, but I don't agree with 100% everything concerning myself. Sometimes, because I know I'm wrong a lot too. But Dane Calloway is one of the foremost people when it comes to Native American studies and Black history studies in America. And yeah, go ahead and check out his channel. And it's called, on his website is I'm Just Here to Make You Think.com, and we can go from there. But let me get back to Senator Elizabeth.
And that is why I apologize to Chief Baker and why I've made a very public apology.
So Senator, does that
documents like this?
I'm sorry?
Could there be other documents out there with you self-identifying as American Indian?
So all I know is during this time period, this is consistent with what I did because it was based on my understanding from my family's stories, but family stories are not the same as tribal citizenship, and this is why I have apologized both to Chief Baker, who was very gracious about it, and have apologized publicly.
But Senator, this most recent incident just came out yesterday. Have you spoken with him, with Chief Baker, since this new incident was released? And have you heard from any Native American tribes or groups today since that information came out yesterday?
So I haven't spoken with anyone since I saw this information, no. But my apology is an apology for not having been more sensitive about tribal citizenship and tribal sovereignty.
So to play on your emotions, she's going to have a soft tone. Please forgive me. I'm sorry. And this is what I was told. And cause, no, Trump ain't going to talk like that. And Trump ain't going to admit it's wrong because that's what white supremacists do. I don't consider Elizabeth Warren a white supremacist. I consider her a white opportunist. And that's the difference, you know. White supremacy is full of opportunists, but she don't clearly think she's supreme because now she thinks she's wrong, and she's willing to apologize, especially when she knows she's wrong. You're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. You'll never get that out of Joe Biden. You'll never get that out of Trump. And I'll tell you the truth, I don't think I ever heard Bernie Sanders admit he's wrong. I'm just going to be honest. But Elizabeth Warren, she knows she told a freaking lie, and she knows she should, and then she used it to her advantage, and she just rolled with it and went there and did it, and now it's proven that she's not, and she went to far as trying to shame Trump, shame the devil, and get this DNA test, and then end up biting her in the butt. But let's keep going.
I really want to underline the point. Tribes and only tribes determine tribal citizenship. It is an issue of tribal sovereignty.
How do you think voters will react to this?
I'm sorry? Oh,
How do you think voters will react to this?
You know, I'm sure there are pundits who will have an answer for that. But understand, this is from the heart. This is about my family, my brothers, and it is about an apology from the heart. An apology for not being more sensitive to tribal citizenship and tribal sovereignty, and for harm caused.
Have you considered dropping out of the race?
So I went kind of long on this, but this is the reason why you won't see me supporting Elizabeth Warren. Now, it would be hard for me not to consider her if she was the nominee, because she's far better than anybody that's running right now, and she's not a Hillary Clinton to that highest level of opportunist, but she is an opportunist. And don't let the teacher persona fool you. Don't let the intellectual, highly educated, I have a plan for this persona fool you. She's a bona fide opportunist, and she always waits till it's convenient for her before she makes a move. If it's convenient for her, she's going to do it. If it can hurt her, she's not going to do it. And the only reason she apologizing now is because she thought it was convenient for her back then, and now the bottom line, it came to bite her in the butt. Back then, she didn't think that this would ever bite her in the butt because she really probably believed that she was Native American, because she just went with the story and ran with it. Just ran with it. Bit her in the butt. And it made Trump look stronger, because he mocked her and joked her and will continue to mock and joke her throughout this campaign. She is no match with Trump because she's no match for herself. She's able to defeat herself, which makes it easier for Trump. So various reasons, and like I said, this is going to be called why. This is going to be called Not Warren, and why? Because of this particular segment, her claiming to be something that she's not, and trying to use it to score political points, and use this to make moves in her life, whether it was indirectly or directly. from trying to get on the Texas bar exam to actually being listed as a minority at universities, Ivy League universities at that. So no, this is one of the reasons why you need to think twice about Elizabeth Warren, and why I said not Warren, and this is why. She's a political vulture opportunist, and don't you let that teacher persona fool you. Don't you let that I got a plan for everything fool you. Everybody running for office have great grand plans, and they'll tell you and they'll woo you, and it sounds great, and you'll want that piece of candy and want that cake on the table, but it's a fake cake. Once you pull it off, it's fake, because she has no power to push these ideas. And then you got to go into the detail of these ideas and the pros and cons to it. But that's it. I'm Robert Brown with the Rob Report. The next one that I will do would be called Not Warren, and Here's Why. Not Elizabeth Warren, and Here's Why. And I'm going to talk about her and this willing to prostitute herself out to get big money in order to go to head with Trump, which Trump will slaughter her. I'll holler at you later. Peace.